Yes, thank you very much. I'm here.
Welcome to Stockholm.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you. This time, unfortunately, not in person physically, but spiritually and through video. I'm always very happy to be in Stockholm. And I was in the fall last time, sometime September. So, yeah.
Please, I just would like you to have some reflections on this general topic of today's conference, which is, of course, sanctions and narratives around sanctions, but also how we can help Ukraine. And you should, of course, feel free to add the points that you think we should all have heard here today.
Okay, thank you very much. So Ukraine is entering in a very difficult period of time. I call it season 2, where the funding is delayed, the battlefield in a situation where there is a lot of people dying, but in terms of territory, there is a lot of uncertainty in which way and what is going to be moving. Ukrainian military, of course, is stronger than in the beginning of the war with all the support, but there's also actual questions of supply chains and whether we have enough weapons, shells, munitions, and that looks challenging. We see the mixed signals from the U.S. Congress. We also see certain signals from some of the Eastern European countries. There is a blockade of Ukrainian exports and imports in Poland on the ground. There's a sea blockade. There's now Slovakia joined it. So it's really a challenging time. Ukraine is mobilized, morale is high, but there's of course a question of the economic stability and support, both militarily and economically, during the war. So, I think we'll get through this, but it's going to be a little bit darkish in the process. The key, of course, is that Ukraine is going to survive, and Ukraine is very clear. It is very clear what Ukraine is fighting for. There's a lot of high-tech innovation in Ukraine right now, and it is becoming in so many ways a technological war of technology and innovation. And Russia is not to be underestimated, but also Ukraine is not to be underestimated. So we have to work on this together. We want to deny Russia ability to finance the war. In that way, Russian oil and gas revenues have decreased due to the price cap. But as we have recently seen, there is a lot of evidence that price cap is being violated and not being sufficiently enforced. The US has moved towards it, towards more enforcement of the price cap, but it has to be taken seriously and enforcement has to be strengthened. That would allow to deny Russia financing. Russia is still earning over $100 billion from oil, and additionally from gas, and that's exactly the amount they're putting into defense spending. So it's I think it's a really big scandal. Also, China, North Korea, and Iran now are friends with Russia and provide financial and technological military support. These Shahed drones, which are flying over my head daily in thousands. Well, this is Iranian technology. It's not per se Russian. They also have improved their military-industrial complex. Ukraine has 2, but Russia is building gigafactories. They have this huge Lancet factory, which is a drone factory, and it's taking in tens of millions of dollars, if not of hundreds of millions of dollars of equipment every week. Russia now has been investing in what they call Maidan 3 project. Basically, they're pushing several narratives that there will be mass mobilization, which is failing in Ukraine, that Ukrainian allies now don't believe in the victory, Ukrainian counteroffensive is not successful, there's total corruption, and sanctions do not work. So, and they are pushing this narrative through social media, but also politically. Then there is this conflict between Zelensky and Zaluzhny, which is almost not there. But there's a lot of media attention towards it, and I think there's a lot of amplification of this, both inside Ukraine and outside of Ukraine. We have Slovakia problem, we have Hungary, we have Poland now, the formation of the new government, therefore therefore the blockade currently of Ukrainian trade. And finally, we have some tendencies in Netherlands. So this is a very dark background against which we simply have to work harder. I think if things do not work out nicely soon, that it will send the wrong signals to China, first of all, and also to Putin, of course. And it will destabilize further politically, at least the east of Europe and maybe Europe overall. So, this is the bad news. The good news is that Ukraine holds and can continue to hold indefinitely as long as it's getting support from the West. And we're working on Ukraine facility plan. We are, we have managed to maintain macroeconomic stability. We have properly trained our troops, and morale is high. But we are all in it together. And thank you so much for your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just wanted to, since this last panel, and I know we're running over time, but I just would like your personal perspective on the media climate, social media. We have in this panel been discussing narratives and how social media has become a pool that's not so pleasant to swim in anymore. I just wanted to hear you, because you have a big following on social media platform. How do you feel yourself that you have been, received, or how people respond to the things that you post on X nowadays compared to like 6 months ago or so?
Well, so subjectively, two trends are noticeable. One is there's more toxicity in replies to my tweets, for example. And recently, just to take an example of a tweet, I posted information about a wife of Budanov, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, being poisoned. And the comments which came in were, oh, look at her, she's a babe. That's where the taxpayers' money are going, into her cosmetic surgery. That was one trend of comments. And the other trend was, this is a sign of internal struggle between Zaluzhny and Zelensky. This has nothing to do, because Budanov is, it's a very different type of agency. It's not in the midst of it, and definitely there's no internal fighting of that level. Nonetheless, that's being, they're trying to use every opportunity to amplify this kind of ridiculously, and they wouldn't stand any critical test of critical thinking, but narrative. So I have seen attention has dropped too. Actually, I have experienced this phenomena of decrease in likes, but not as much, or at least I have not watched it too much. So there is something with algorithms, we're seeing that, and I also think there are objectively less attention because of Israel and Gaza. So this is a difficult climate, but at the same time, what I see is that if I post and talk about human stories, fundamentally human stories, the attention we get is the same as before. So my answer to that is to speak sort of about universal human experience during the wartime. And I think people connect, it resonates with people, and people respond to that. I think we shouldn't become mechanical in our communications. We shouldn't push this maybe important, maybe strategic narratives that, this is a threat to democracy. It's all true, but people tend to respond to human stories. So I think we're in the climate where to overcome propaganda and toxicity on Twitter, X, or on Facebook. I think we need to be human, and we should not forget our mission as human, or as academic institutions, as policy institutions, political institutions. I think we tend to be becoming a little bit too mechanical and too efficient, and we forget what the purpose of what we do is. If we keep true to our purpose, I think people respond. So I believe that fundamentally readers are good, but it's we have to work harder.
I think this is an excellent note to end this conference. Thank you so much, Tymofiy, for connecting from Kyiv and sharing your insights. Thank you, of course, to all of our speakers here today. Thank you for everyone coming in from the cold to be part of this. And of course, a fantastic thank you to all of my colleagues here at site, Anders, Maria, and all of the team making this possible. So I think we should just give everyone here a big warm hand of applause. And thank you again, Tymofiy, for your contributions here today. Thank you.